Hello and welcome back to a gameplay for all seasons. Today we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy, and we've had an awful lot of videos where we've been discussing Hogwarts Legacy, where we've been talking about what we want in the game, what we think might be in the game, what we know's in the game. And in this video, I want to talk about the 6 things that I think that the developers could do, which despite what they may do elsewhere in the game, could make it go horribly wrong. Now, if you want to stay up to date with all the goings on with Hogwarts Legacy, if that's a game you're interested in, make sure you hit the subscribe so you don't miss upcoming content and information on the game. So let's dive straight into this then. So the first thing that I think the developers could do, or the game could do, that could make it go horribly wrong is around quests, missions, whatever you want to call them. Now, most games you look at, good and bad, will always have at least 1 or 2 good missions. But what separates the good games from the not so good games are where they have a large variety of missions. You get some games which, even though the graphics might be good, some of the features might be quite good, essentially the quests or missions are very samey. You could just get a whole load of fetch quests, and that could be a concern in this game. You could get the case where you get, there's so many different ways you could do that. You could have, a teacher needs some herb from the forest to cure some student, go off and get it, bring it back to them. And those missions in on themselves are absolutely fine. However, when you start getting that over and over and over again, it can get boring somewhat quickly. And for a game like Hogwarts Legacy, that does present a bit of a problem, because a game like this should have good replayability. You've got 4 different houses, people who want to experience the different houses. So you want to make sure the quests are exciting, the missions are exciting, and there's a lot of different variation there. Not just focusing on 1 or 2 headline amazing missions that can go on YouTube and people say they're brilliant. You want to make sure you've got that consistent, varied quest and missions all the way through. So the second item then is around classes. And the thing they could do wrong here is make them quite pointless. Now, a lot of people are very much looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. And why are some of these people looking forward to it? Some of these people are looking forward to it because they want to experience going to Hogwarts. They want to go along to classes. They want to do lessons. They want to go to Transfiguration. They want to go to Herbology. They want to go to Potions. They want to go to Defense Against Dark Arts. And they want a different experience in each one of those lessons. They don't want to go along to the lesson and you do it 3 times. You get a stamp each time after you press your triangle, your X, your square, all in the right order at the right time. Well done, you've passed Potions. Now that's kind of pointless, right? I'd draw a slight parallel to a game that I often talk about with Hogwarts Legacy, which is Bully, obviously, because it is a game set in a school, and that was a fantastic game. Things like the way the truancy worked there, where you didn't have to go to class, but if you didn't, you had to avoid the teachers and they caught you. That wasn't good. That worked really, really well. I imagine and hope that they have some sort of feature like that in this game. But one thing, if you did have criticism, is there wasn't that much variation in the classes, and it didn't really matter what you did in them. It didn't feel like, if you're doing maths or writing or whatever it was, you didn't really feel that it was different from any other class. And I think that's what they have to make sure they do better here, because I think some people do want to dive in. It doesn't take long on the internet to see people talking about that they want to do owls. They'd like to go on to later years and do newts and all those good things. So it's very important for this game that they make sure the classes aren't pointless. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone's going to want to spend all their time in the classes. Some people probably don't want to do that. They just want to have a magical game or whatever they want to do. So that's why I say the truancy would be quite good. It should be a bit of a choice if you can go on there. But if you do want to do it, they should be worthwhile. So item 3 then, and I've already mentioned about replayability, and one of the really important things they do here, and what they could do to make it go horribly wrong, would be if they didn't make any real substantial difference to the houses. People are very much looking forward to finding out how you are going to get sorted into your house. The best bet is probably you're going to do a bit of a quiz. It will tell you your house, and then it will say, are you happy with this, or do you want to be something different? And then when you've actually picked that house or been sorted into that house, you want it to feel different. We already know that you get different common rooms, but we don't know what else is going to be different from which house you have picked. Now, if you look on the Hogwarts Legacy page, it has all those different descriptions at the top, saying about you can be a Ravenclaw Potions Master, a Hufflepuff Herbologist, or whatever they are. So it makes it sound like there should be a difference with the house that you pick. So rather than just being, you get a different common room, maybe the first 10 minutes a bit different, we want to have more than that. We want to make sure that it makes a difference which house you pick, to the point that you think, oh, I will replay that again. You know, maybe mention this in other videos, get kickers depending on what house you're on. So maybe you're a bit better at potions if you are in Slytherin, maybe you're a bit better at herbology if you're in Hufflepuff. And also, you know, maybe your interactions with different students are different. Maybe you get the NPCs that you interact much more with if you're in certain houses. Maybe the actual lecturers or the head of your house reacts differently to you, and more than that as well, missions, etc, etc. So I think it's important. They don't have to do all those things, but they do have to make sure that it feels different. It's not just some arbitrary difference between houses, i.e. the common rooms and maybe what colour robes you're wearing. So the fourth thing then, they need to make sure they avoid, otherwise this game could go horribly wrong. And this is one that to me is very, very important, and this is to do with the whole good and evil split. Again, if you go to the website, there's a talk about you can be who you want to be. That suggests that there should be a good spectrum between good and evil. However, what they could do, which wouldn't be so good, is to have no middle ground. And I spoke about this before in this channel. In the past, I played games where I've tried to be good, but maybe I've tried to have a bit of sense of humour, and the game was a bit more serious than I gave it credit for. An example is Knights of the Old Republic 2. I tried to be what I considered a bit funny. Maybe I was trying to echo a bit of Han Solo or something, but what it meant was, because I was probably a bit too sarcastic in a lot of my actual discussions, I was very, very, very slightly more evil than good, and then it went off the absolute deep end at the end and ended up killing everyone that I'd been trying to save. So that wasn't very good. I lost that free choice just because it was literally polar opposite one to the other. And I think in this game, it would be really good if there is that spectrum. You're not just good, you're not just evil. It's not you get towards the end of the game and then suddenly you save everyone, or suddenly kill everyone, or you do something that's considered evil. I think it's really important. You know, they're saying that this game is going to have a lot of choice, and to me, choice means if you want to be in the middle ground, if you want to be slightly one way or the other, you should be able to. The fifth thing they could do then, which could potentially make this game go horribly wrong, is trying to do too much. We know that developers of the game do lurk in forums, they look at videos on YouTube, perhaps they might even look at this one. If you are a developer, why not leave a comment so we know? But what I think, you know, when you read all these things, people are talking about things that they want, and I think as someone who doesn't want to get expectations too high in the game to the point where you just are expecting things that aren't going to be there, you should be aware that if you're asking something or you read something where they're saying, I'd want this, this, and this, and this, it's not necessarily that that person is expecting all those things to be in it. It's more that they are suggesting, if you're going to do this, this is how I think it should be done. And if, you know, the developers are listening to these videos and they're thinking, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do everything, then I think what you can end up doing, if you try to do too much, you spread yourself too thinly, you end up going to have ill thought out ideas. You're not going to push the things that you put in there to their fullest. So I think what's much more important, and I would fully expect that they've done this, is to make sure you pick which things you want to do. And at those things, that's where you delve into the forums, you delve into the YouTube videos, and you work out how people think and how people want those to work. And you make sure you do those and you do them to the fullest. Again, if they try and do too much, something that could happen is you could get a very buggy game. We all know from recent games that doesn't work out very well. So the last item I wanted to talk about, which could make this game go horribly wrong, is if they rushed the game out. Now again, very recently we've seen games that have been rushed out, most likely to keep senior management happy or shareholders happy or someone who's not that tied to the game. You know, games get delayed and then they don't want it delayed anymore, they just want to get out there and earn money or whatever their reasons are. But the trouble is, if the game's not ready, it's got too many bugs in it, people are not going to be very happy. So it's really important. We know this game's been delayed already. On my Twitter, I actually ran a poll to see what would people prefer. Would they prefer that the game just comes out but has a few bugs in it, or would they rather it just they wait until the game's fully developed? And people want to wait until the game is fully developed. They don't want to be playing a game that's hard to get through. They want to make sure it's a well thought out, good experience when they play it. So yes, it's been delayed. If they need to delay again, go ahead and do that. I'm not saying delay it until you get the most polished game in the world and kind of everyone's lost interest because it's 20 years later. What you want to do, you want to make sure it works, you've got the stuff in there that you want, and that's when you put it out. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on the next one.